Should I just baffle the cat now? I think so, actually. I can wrath away their other creatures, but if they have oven, cat oven's pretty annoying for this deck. Eventually, you can beat it. You can get ahead enough that you can like Teferi minus the ovens and stuff, and have the one grab Digger's Cage. But oh my god. Oh, that was the problem. That was not great. And they play Midnight Reaper for the max punish. Oh my god. What a freaking disaster. Wow. Alright, whatever. No big deal. Man, that game would have been so easy, I think, if I hadn't made the mistake I made. Maybe they don't have a basic in their deck. Maybe they drew their one basic just now. They either have 0 or 1 basic. Should I bother answering? I just saw something I think is wrong on Twitter. And Siggy agreed to. Someone tweeted, Brainstorm doesn't need shuffle effects to be good. I think we're too affected by the concept of the perfect Brainstorm in Eternal format to believe in its power as a serviceable cantrip. Hashtag MTGCube. And Siggy said, it was played and constructed for years with minimal shuffle effect. I think it was just not, though. I just don't think that's true. I think it's worse than Opt if you can't shuffle your deck. I think it's like much worse than Opt if you can't shuffle your deck. Oh, I don't know about much worse, but worse. And I don't think it's a good card if you can't shuffle your deck at all. Was there much discard to use the hide part? I don't think so. I mean, the rest is what? The rest is from Urza Saga. Brainstorm was from Ice Age. Alright, it's gonna be rough. I mean, I know when I used to play Blue Skies, I would play 4 up, 4 sleight of hands, and 0 Brainstorm. And I would make fun of people playing Brainstorm. Historic. There's like Crash Free you can play. Opt, Crash Through. I'm like pretty dead. Still have a ton of cards in hand. I'm drawing dead. I mean, I guess Siggy's tweet is like super vague because he does mention minimal shuffle effect. And obviously there's a huge difference between having 0 shuffle effects and even just having 4 shuffle effects. Christoph_Prince. Welcome and thank you so much for your raid. Appreciate it. Welcome everyone. I just played a game where I cast Baffling in when they had no creatures in play because I had Doomscar and I was trying to foretell Doomscar and shockingly I did not win this game. I wonder if I want the Angels. Angels are kind of awkward against Priest. I don't know why I have these Angels in my sideboard. Maybe against Gruul exactly. I'll do something like that. How did I saw you did quite well with blue-black control. And then you were playing Angels? Isn't Priest a cut against control? That's a good point. I usually keep at least 1 or 2 Priests, even against stag that have like very few creatures, just because it's like decent card advantage engine and it's decent against sweepers. You know, if you have Priest and a Reaper out and they sweep your board, it's not as bad. I guess I'll do Foretell Sight Coming because of Teferi. I feel like having this foretold is better, but you're also overpaying. You're paying 4 mana, whereas Doomscar is like mana neutral when you foretell. Alright. Looks like didn't really matter. What do you think of Angels being a dark horse deck? I don't know, Angel seems like a deck with somewhat left-sided matchup, so better get the metagame you're hoping for. Okay, sidetrack. Do I think Historic needs some bans? No. Historic seems like a really well-balanced format right now. I think Standard is balanced. Yeah, Standard is super balanced. I think so. And if you look at the stats appear to agree. If you look at the stats from the last weekend, there was like, out of all the most played deck, the best one had like under 54% win rates, and the worst one had like 47 something. And there was a lot of different decks. I don't know. Every standard format seems pretty great right now and fun. Sidetrack, thanks for, wow, forgot how many gifted subs how many subs you had given. 53. Thanks, bud. Thank you so much. Alright, well, I got the fairy, but I have a little damage engine going over there. Do I ever want to get rid of the oven? No, probably not. I could use the extra 2 mana right now. Doomscore? There's been another murder?
If you wish to surrender now, I understand. Keep an open mind.
I'll just take the sensor. I know about it now, so it's maybe not as good, but... Why not foretell the Doomscar? No good reason. It's kind of a lot of damage. I could Field of Ruin first. In game 1 I used Field of Ruin and they didn't get a basic, but it's possible they just had their basic in hand. I kind of don't remember if they played a basic after that or not. I think I could use the mana still. I should have Narset first. Maybe see if I find a cage or a rest in peace.
Meditate and prepare.
Yeah, I just totally forgot to foretell Doomscar. How do you board in for this matchup? I cut my Shark Typhoons and I cut a few counter spells and I cut Surge because I bring in Rest in Peace. I'll save my counterspell for Collected Company, I guess. I'm really close of they're just ignoring Teferi. Bull strats. Alright, let's see. Let's see if they have a basic or not. I wish you could play 4 Field of Ruin, because there's a lot of decks right now that are really low on basics in the format. Have like 1 basic or really, really few basics. Yeah, I think you have to play 1 basic right now because there's just enough, you know, blue-white, blue-black. I'd be pretty scared to play 0 basics in this format. Why not run snow basics? Me? Or in general? What's the upside? I don't know about these angels. I mean, they could just be really good, right? We did see priests still in their deck. I don't think I really need the angels. I think the fairies probably does better. Like they could have Noxious Grasp. It just can be pretty easily game losing if you play an angel and they have a Noxious Grasp and you got no value. You just spend 5 mana on your turn. Isn't Redain played historic? It could be. I mean, I don't see why you would ever play snow basics. Also, there's just open deck lists in tournaments, so you're not going to bluff anyone. It's kind of a thing of the past to bluff people. Do I regret closed deck lists? Not sure. I don't think I have a strong opinion. I think not knowing your opponent's deck list is better. You know, it just rewards deck building decisions and stuff, right? And makes the game more complicated too. It's maybe not necessarily a good thing, I guess. Well, it's kind of a tough spot. I think I kind of like taking Priest. Also Behold. And hope I don't take too much damage. And save my Baffling End for later, or save my Baffling End for a Midnight Reaper. What's the worst matchup for blue-white? I think blue-white just has like okay matchup, you know, close matchup against everything for the most part. Maybe against something like Angels, you're pretty good. Still kind of want to baffle the Priest. Reason is that cat have occasion to rest in peace in my deck, so probably gonna find one at some point. And I feel like the Priest, if this is the sequence that happens, I'd rather them not have Priest when I Wrath of God next turn. But you could have also held Baffling in and just go Censor plus Behold. And then maybe Baffling in a Reaper, or just save your Baffling in. Alright, well, that kind of worked out for me, right? That's like pretty good sequence. Should John play Corvold? It's tough. It's a really powerful card. It's also a miss. Any card. It's like this deceptive, you know, lost value. Any card that's not a company hit, especially in that deck, because you have relatively few company hits. Should I main phase Behold? I think main phase Behold makes sense. 9, 6. Taking maybe a tiny bit more damage than I should. Down to 9. Take 5 down to 4. That's an interesting one. Saves me some damage, right? They can only sack 1 to the tower. And we know they have no basics. I don't know. I always thought Ragdos Sack was pretty underpowered whenever I played it. Sure, Companion breaks a lot, but also wins you a lot of games. Alright, I guess even though this can get multiple creatures, I'm going to keep Cast Out because Cast Out's exile effect for... I guess it's exile for something like a Reaper, but they have Tower in play anyways. It's possible you want to cycle Cast Out because it's a bit clunky and hope to draw something better, but I think we're at this point in the game where I should be okay. Oh, I'm going to play it really safe. That card's been good for me. I actually beat a burn deck this morning and they kind of messed up though. I was at 2 and they drew Raminap runes and I had that in play. And they sacked it right away so I could sack mine in response. And if they have just sat there, it means I would have had to keep 6 mana up for the entire game. I definitely should have lost that game, I think, against the burn deck. I'm gonna mulligan, even though I have all these cantrips. Would I play less than 0 gates if I were allowed to? Well, I'm playing 1, so... No. Are you trying to tell me that gates is bad? I think Gates is good. By the way, chat, I asked Huey if I missed anything during the meeting yesterday, and he said no. I wish I had pranked him or called him during the stream. Because there was a team meeting yesterday during my evening stream, and I was joking that that I probably wasn't missing anything, and if I asked Huey, he would just tell me, you didn't miss anything, and that's what he actually said. Alright, I want to counter that just to save a little damage over the next couple turns. Saves me 1 point of damage now, and then another 1, 2, 3. It's like 4 points of damage. Five points of damage. Just cycle, try to find more sweepers.
I train everyone, keep an open mind.
Oh, Shepherd has text, right. Green spells you controlled can't be countered. Wow. I think it would have asked me if I'm sure when I cast Censor. That's great for me that they're not just saying go with 4 mana up. I'm almost dead. 4, 7, 10, 12 damage. But obviously they're right, they should kill the... They should maybe say send the clan color at Narset. Unless they have a way of drawing cards in their deck. I cut the commit because of Cage. I wasn't like super on to commit. I kind of liked it in some of the older versions because back when I was not playing as many white castles, sometimes you actually needed the memory to reshuffle everything and win the game. But I don't think that's the case anymore. So get into Fairy Plus and I'll have at least a chum blocker even if they draw Lords. Or I could Teferi minus, use it as a removal. I don't really love that option though. I think Teferi plus. Making a 1/1 shark is good. Definitely paid off. I mean, maybe the downside is they have Crater Hoof in their deck. They just Crater Hoof and kill me. I've seen lists with like couple finales and Crater Hoof.
Don't make another move. Hurry.
Alright, Devious Cover-Up has a question. Says, you often joke that most of your chat has at least a PhD. Did anyone ever review a paper they don't find good enough? If so, any tips to write the review so that it won't be too hurtful for the authors? Chat? How do you tell someone they suck without hurting their feelings and hurting their career? No, I'm joking. That's what I do when I review decks. Classic Yellowhead deck review. Alright, let's see. I'll just counter that. I mean, baffling and here's the only thing I need to be mindful of is keep my instant speed answers, cast out and counter spells for company. Boarding got sharked, I feel, in a lot of these matchups. It's a pretty good game one card though. And you kind of want 4 for the control matchups, etc. I worry that Baneslayer is just, if you're far behind, it's kind of much worse than a sweeper and not really going to save you. I think I should prioritize. I could just keep in all the Narsets. Just because finding sweeper is so important. Maybe like one Shark Typhoon. It was good to have the one Shark Typhoon in this game, have the Chum Blocker. Maybe Settled kind of sucks against elves. It's like an extra sweeper, but it's kind of a bad sweeper. Or kind of a good sweeper against company. And the baffling ends were pretty serviceable. So I'll keep them in. It does slow them down a bit. Do I like Sight coming? I think it's been good, yeah. I foretell it a lot and stuff. Seems pretty solid. I think it's probably better than Neutralize and Absorb. They were playing Pathway and had Castle, so it wouldn't just be a bluff, right? They probably have Thoughtseize in their sideboard. I've also like cast Doomscar on turn 3 a lot, way more than I thought I would. So I'm personally like pretty high on Doomscar. I'm gonna play Search. So I'm probably gonna counter whatever they play next turn. Slow them down and then Behold. I think you could argue foretelling Behold here maybe. Oh, it's an absolute beating. That's me. I should board out Search. Why was Authority not boarded in this matchup? Because they don't have haste creatures, because the live gain doesn't matter as much, because they can just attack you for such high amounts of damage with all their lords. It just doesn't do enough. I think I'm gonna let them have it and hope I find a sweeper. Just hurts you too much, I think, to just counter there. Fairy's a nice speed bump. I'm gonna keep it here. It's not gonna be great, it's just gonna die, but okay. Should I try and actually protect my Teferi, or should I just use it to try and get ahead on cards? It's pretty tempting. I kind of wanted Baffling in perfect, and then I think I like that. And then I'm not gonna keep Sight coming mana up. Is that reasonable? It's a bit gamblish, but doesn't look like they have company in hand. It's a bit gamblish, but I feel like it's better in the long run. Doesn't the deck need more sideboard cards that are good in the mirror? I think I have a decent in and out where I'm leaving most of my baffling ends for shark tokens and cutting all my sweepers, and I have 5-6 cards I can bring in. You might want one extra maybe. It's pretty tempting. Company's their best sub deck. Also kind of negates Clan Caller. Alright, so it's kind of bad that they had a Company in response, now they have only 3 left in their deck. Well. Oh, do I not have Carvel Live on? Sorry about that. I'd add another. Oh, keeping a... What a freaking disaster. They've played 2 Thoughtseize. I'll give it one more turn. Do I have a way to get rid of a spyglass? I'm not sure I do. I don't think I left in cast out. I doubt it. Man, I would love having a white castle this game. Can you imagine one white castle that have been beating me down with a bunch of 2-1s? It's nice to have field of room to go with my gust. Alright, so I think you let them have it so that I make the biggest shark possible. 7/7. I can gust it later. Alright, that works. Winning the race by 1 point of damage in 1 turn. They need the free one. The black elf. Oh, it's nice draw. Just like we drew it, 1 Shark Typhoon. Yeah, it's not a great matchup for Elf. I think they made a few small mistakes though. Probably the kind of matchup that's easier to mess up from the Elf side than it is to mess up from my side. Yeah, the company turn, yeah, that was kind of sus.